sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. This is MacDonald Carey, and these are the days of our lives.
Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So, tonight's topic is Sofia Mattson joins the cast of Days of Our Lives. I know some GH fans are kind of bummed by that, but we're going to sit there and talk about it tonight. But before I get into that, let's sit there and do roll call and get this started. GH fans is in the chat, how you doing tonight? Amy is in the chat, how you doing tonight? Krista is in the chat, how you doing tonight? Sean is in the chat, how you doing tonight? Blackma, aka Mr. GQ, is in the chat, how you doing tonight? Hope Danny is in the chat, how you doing tonight? That's not letting me. Susan R is in the chat, how you doing tonight? I hope everyone had a great day. Yeah, I mean, well, she could just come back as a new character. You know, either way, I'm cool with it. You know, I'm cool with it. GH fan. What's good, Emily? I'm doing good, Sean. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Had a rocky start to the day, but good ending. So everything worked out. Wondering if I should actually bring my AC out because it's really that time. Dolomix is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Who said Abigail was coming back? Where'd you get that from, Emily? Or that's just your prediction? So I have my issues with Sasha. I do. And I know there's going to be some people that's not going to like what I have to say. So obviously I'm going to sit there and say it anyway. Now I did a video on TikTok and on my Instagram channel trashing Days of Our Lives. No, sorry. Trashing Beyond the Gates. What's good, Latasha? I'm doing good, Blackmon. Shitty morning, better evening. So one of these fans said she could be a good Abigail, so I assumed. Okay, yeah. What's good, Ron? Yeah, I didn't hear anything about her. I didn't hear anything about Sofia playing Abigail. So, for me personally, I don't really do a lot of fan theories, so I'm just gonna let it play out, like the whole fake Nathan thing. But yeah, Cassius Faison, yep. He felt like she was a hypocrite for going after Willow and a selfish cow for keeping Michael from Daisy. Yes. There's a little bit more to that, but yes. Oh, you can't watch Beyond the Gates, you're getting sick of Cat's character. Okay. So, and what's good, Danny? Doing good, Albert. How are you? Also, past week has several subscribers on one of my channels. Oh, okay, good. So that's good then. That's good to hear, Danny. That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that. You got it. Okay, Danny, what I need you to do right now is and I'm gonna list that right now. I need you to email me your channel again, Danny. I need you to email me your channel. So you got a lot of that covered. I didn't like the fact. Oh, okay, Ron, that's cool. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but it's nice to know that he's doing videos, though. Nice to know that he's doing videos, Ron. What's good, Ed? Okay, that's cool, Ron. I don't usually get a chance to really watch a lot of his videos like I used to. Now let me just read Oh, I'm gonna get to it in a second. I'm trying to get to everybody else's comments, Stage fan, but I'm gonna get to it though. People accuse the show of being the Danny show, but it's really the Cat and Leslie hour. Now, Ed says, hey everybody, I'll be back later. I did want to say Sofia going to Days. I would like her to play recast Melinda Jones because she has a major tie to Salem. Okay. Emily says Albert Cassius Faison could get serious jail time for impersonating a police officer, even if they were killed in the line of duty. Yeah, that's true. All right. So here's my thing. Yeah, Ron, I am. Like I said, I don't get a chance to really check out his videos too much, but if he's in good health, then that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So here's my thing with Sasha, right? I didn't like how she got in. I didn't like how she got in Willow's face and was basically she literally sat there and said, I have every right to judge you. I didn't like that shit at all. I did not like that shit at all. Chick actually got up in Willow's face and they're saying, I have a right to judge you. It's like, first of all, you're not God. You have the right to judge no one. So you need to sit there and calm that shit the fuck down right now. Second of all, I didn't like her shitty ass story by the time she was leaving. She has some really amazing stories. She has some really amazing stories. 1 second, Spider Quick. She has some really amazing stories. But then the fans were sitting there saying that the stories was too dark. So what did they do? They gave her a bullshit fucking cooking story. So after those two, yeah, I don't really care. Now, Spike Quick says, watch Days Today first time since the Jeremy Stephanie stuff. So did Theo see? No, he did not sit there and see his mom yet. Hopefully, it's supposed to be sometime this week, though. Okay, I think you kind of missed the point when I'm saying GH fan. So, but I get what you're saying. But I'm a Ron. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. You ask me that question every single time you come in my chat, and I've gotten to a point where I answered it once, and I'm not going to answer it again. So just ask me another question, okay? By the way, I wonder if the real Nathan is alive or not. I wonder if Britt knows that this Nathan is fake. Oh, she didn't say anything, so I would assume that she didn't know. Well, that's always the $1,000,000 question though. It's not so much if she wanted to sign back up, it's if they wanted her back. See, that's the thing though, right, Sean? Because like we never know if she chose to leave or if no, why would I be mad at him? Like, why would I be mad at him? No, I didn't say anything that would indicate that I would be mad at him. Okay, so I get that you're trying to rebuttal my whole thing, and I'm saying this just to answer your question, not as a like judgy sort of thing. So I don't want you to sit there and take it that way. I don't care if we all judge people. We're all fucking hypocrites for doing that. At the end of the day, Ryan, nobody should be judging anybody because nobody's God. Okay? No one is allowed to, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one should be judging anybody because no one's God. Okay? So when she said that I have the right to judge you, no, you don't. That should definitely rub you the wrong way. Because I was like, you're not God. You shouldn't be judging anybody. You also shouldn't be sitting there judging anybody, giving your own pass. See, Sasha came to town as a scam artist in a sense. Okay? She came as a scam artist. She got hooked on pills because of Cyrus. So My whole thing is like, girl, you already have your own issues. You have your own past and your own stuff that you have done. I don't know in what universe you honestly sit there and think that you should be judging anybody else is beyond me. So like that's my issue, Ryan. That's my issue. Yes, everybody judges everybody. That doesn't make it right. And that's my whole thing. So, like I'm not I'm not trying to like jump down your throat with that, but like okay, thank you, Danny. I'm not trying to jump down your throat with that, but like I have my issues with that. I'm like, Sasha, shut the fuck up because you are not anybody to be judging anybody else. That's ridiculous. So yeah, that's just to kind of settle that whole thing. And thank you, Sean. I appreciate your support. And also appreciate you being here too. Where else my goddamn music at? I see what you're trying to do, Spider. I'm not falling for it. Okay? I'm not falling for it. But Ron says, did you agree with all of what Steffi was saying to Deacon that he doesn't I, I in a sense, yes. In a sense, yes. I can't actually I do. Um I'm like, broski, you almost got caught. You had to jump out of a fucking window so that way your wife wouldn't come in, see you banging another woman. And then they're still saying to her, I love you. I'm in love with her. I can't stop seeing. I'm like, yo, listen, I don't like the way that Steffi is that they're talking to um I'm not gonna lie, it's quite quick. Haley's fucking annoying. Yeah, okay, but Ryan, I get what you're saying. You still kind of seem like you're on that. Granted, I don't want to go back and forth with you on that. I don't care what she meant to say. It's what she actually said that bothered me. And like I said, at the end of the day, Sasha, you have shit that you've done in your past too. You have no right to judge anybody. I don't. Here's the thing, right? I don't care if it's Willow, if it's Michael, if it's Sunny, if it's Carly. She has no right and no room to judge anybody else because she has her own baggage. And the last time I checked, she ain't Jesus. So, um, but yes, Ryan. Yes, Ryan. I didn't mention a lot of things, Ron. I literally started like 15 minutes ago. But yes, right quick. I'm not. Haley is so fucking annoying. Haley is so goddamn annoying. It's like, the minute that she opens her mouth and now she's doing this whole like Tomas is a sexual predator. I was like, mm. But well, what did Jocelyn do that made her too big for her britches? And so yeah, and just again going back with the whole but now here's the flip side to that, right? Well, I don't really care if Sophia goes back. Oh, okay. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I actually kind of like that scene, but I respect your opinion. Um, I'm not gonna do what I did last time. Uh, I heard about it, but I didn't watch it though. I kind of wasn't really interested in it. I didn't even know that they actually launched yet. Like, no, I spelled it right. What the hell else did I say before? Okay, so Sophia going to Days of Our Lives, right? It's going to be and it's going to be a waste. I mean, here's the thing. I hope that Days actually gives Sophia like a really good story or an interesting character to play. But Days have like really dropped the ball with a lot of the characters that have been on the show, right? Like Talia was good, Nicholas. Talia, um, Joy, Everett, um, Xander's mom was cool because she didn't stay on that long, so like I'm cool with her. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool, Nicole. I mean, that's cool, Nicholas. Um, and I feel like there's other characters too that I can't think of off the top of my head, but like I just feel like whenever people go to Days of Our Lives to like guest star in there, it's like their character ain't really shit or just get like they don't really have good stories with a lot of characters that they put on there though. Hell, even Sloan, who started off great, went down fucking hill towards the end. There has been a big backslash online among Days fans when it comes to the new writers. We're supposed to be better than Ron, but aren't. Yeah, like they dropped the ball with so many fucking characters that it's just like, why would I sit there and even bother to like root for or be like, oh man, it's gonna be so great. Like, no, like, no, won't. It really won't. So yeah, and Sammy was a character before I started watching it. Um, by the time, I mean, when I started watching it with Lucas, I was like, that's cool. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure when you were watching it, like, they were amazing characters. Peter Blake was a screw up too. Dude was a major villain, and he was cameo basically. Yeah. So like they drop the ball a lot of times when they really put these people on. I feel like if they're not core characters or whatever, they ain't gonna really be getting no good stories. They just not. They're not. Oh, you got four actors that are fucking leaving the show. Like that's I just I can't. Now, again, I did a video snip there trashing Beyond the Gates. I will sit there and say that this episode was actually good. Nicholas says, "What do you think of fake Nathan?" I mean, I don't really have a good read on him yet. I don't. They're not playing him like he's this really evil guy. Like he is protecting Rocco. He's liking Lulu. You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't one of those things where he comes in and he's just a straight up villain, or he's the evil version of Nathan. Yeah, he's working with Sitwell and stuff like that, but like he's not like he doesn't come across as a villain. So it's like it's kind of hard to get a good read on him. Like before this, I had no indication to sit there and think that he wasn't fake. So yeah, I mean, yeah, he has and that's he has you know he's a fake, but he's not like twirling his mustache or whatever and be like, oh, we're gonna take over Port Charles or whatever. Like, you know, it was hard to really get a good read on him. I mean, I didn't really, and that's another thing. I didn't really care that much for Nathan before. And he wasn't a bad character or anything like that. I just didn't really care one way or the other. And what's good, Sean? Happy Manson was terrible. Okay. Well, I guess we all have to wait and see who she plays. Now, I didn't even get to my fucking notes. Brooklyn annoyed me this week. She didn't want Chase talking to Willow. It was good, Danny Bear. She didn't want Chase talking to Willow. But instead of her sitting there confronting Chase and putting her foot down and be like, hey, listen, I have concerns, you decide you want to start being petty Betty and start being all nasty and rude to Michael. I'm like, yo, girl, why don't you take that same energy and talk to your damn man instead of being petty with Michael? Like, that was just annoying. And he said, Albert did a video about Ryan talk about days. Okay, well, yeah, after the stream, I'll definitely check it out. I personally don't really understand, like, why was that such a huge thing, except for the fact that he's a big movie star talking about a soap opera and giving a soap opera praise. Other than that, I guess I didn't really understand the big, oh my God, is Ryan Gosling talking about a soap opera? I'm like, okay, that's cool. No, Sean, I didn't hear about that, but I mean, if he likes it, then Sean, I'm happy for Cameron. I'm happy for him. He's doing work and he's making money, so like, that's cool. But okay, I get you don't like what the character's doing so far, so that's fine, Sean. That's your right. Serious fan, there was a time where I started to think that Nina isn't that bad. Then she behaves like she did today, and I remember why I hate her. The way she spoke to Jacinda was unacceptable. All right, so here's my take on that. Right now, here's my take on that. Let me put it this way: I felt like it was annoying the way that Nina talked to Jacinda because it was just petty, right? What she asked Jacinda to do was something that you know, she would ask any employee of hers to do, right? But she tried to make it seem like it was some sort of punishment. And I was like, girl, you're being fucking petty. Like, what did you want Jacinda to do? You wanted her to sit there and be a linebacker and just stop Jack? Like, what are you talking about? You know? I thought it was just like, it's just one of those things that was just annoying, Like, girl, calm down. Bill Mack says it's a big deal because Hollywood notoriously looked down on souls. Remember when Eva LeGrand said she couldn't even. Yep. Okay, so I understand that. Okay, all right, that's a fair point. And also, Dolomitics, I'm going to ask you to do, right? When you get a chance, make sure you put that whole that link to your soap opera that you're writing. Make sure you do that. Okay, good. What's good, Jakaris? How are you doing? It's good to see you. Also, hit the like button because it really does actually help. There we go. Let's get cherry ice cream. What, Sean? What makes Jacinda annoying? Dakota says, how do you feel about Ryan Gosling thoughts about soaps? Eh. I mean, I know. Here's the thing. I know it's supposed to be a big deal because it's a big. I mean, I personally don't really care. I know it's probably not the answer you want to hear, but like I understand the significance behind it because Hollywood actor and treating soaps with whatever respect. But I guess the whole thing just kind of flew over my head and just like, okay, yeah. Like for me, it's just like, eh. But Jakaris, what did you think of it though? It was good. Was good. Cherry ice cream. It's good to sit there and see you. Um, Latasha says Sheila's on the Deacon and Taylor now because she found the pizza box. Yeah, she found that pizza box. I'm not gonna lie, it's so shitty. It's so shitty what Deacon is actually doing. I like how he spoke the truth and shut the interviewer down. I gotta like watch it or try to find it somewhere. No, Max, I mainly liked it because Ryan and I are about the same age. He was talking about the storyline I was watching as a kid. Like I said, it's so shitty of what Deacon's doing. Like, here's the thing: I'm not a Sheila fan. I'm not a whatever. But like, bro, you literally just sat there and lied to this woman's face. Like, and he sat there and said, "Yeah, I love you," and he just looked in her eyes and lied to her. I'm like, how the fuck do you look in yourself in the mirror and you just literally lied to her about something that's so fucking sacred? Yeah, I gotta see what this interviewer is like. Maybe I'll try to find it. Is it a video or something? Maybe. All right. Let me screenshot this and try to find it later on. Let me hear about this. There we go. But that's cool. Yeah. But yeah, Sophia is joining Days of Our Lives, and I just have to sit there and be like, I listen. I hope. By the way, hit the like button. By the way, or just Queen Cat Lady, hit the like button because it does actually help. Let's see where we are with that. Oh wow. Okay, 14 likes, 25 people in the chat. So make sure you hit that. It does help. Autumn. See when Taylor gets caught, I don't want to hear any excuses from her mouth. She was warned multiple times. Deacon is a coward. How you gonna say you love Taylor, but you're gonna hide in the bushes? Yeah, hide in the bushes like a bitch. Kelly, you stop it. Once you start, the problem with Nina is that she won't learn anything or change. She loses everything. Everyone she steals the same shrew who let Sunny family think he was dead. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I'm getting kind of tired of Jack threatening Nina because in all reality, I'm like, I really feel like Nina should just. Her recaps are amazing. Um, because I'm just like Nina. I just want you to sit there and call Jack's bluff. You know. And my whole thing is, Jack, if Nina couldn't sit there and get any information out of Charlotte, what makes you think that seriously, Sean, what makes you think that Jacinda is going to be able to do anything? Ariana, thank you, I appreciate that. What's good, Jonathan? I'm like, I don't really understand what do you actually think is going to happen. Like that's my whole thing. Um, so yeah, I just I'm not really understanding that. Um, and now Willow knows that Willow knows that Trina and Kai know about her shooting. I'm like, she gonna have to do something. Yes, Cassius, yes. Um, but honestly, tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie. He's not acting super like villainous or whatever. So I'm kind of just like, yeah, I listen. I can do it, but I just start calling him fake Nathan. Kai and Trina are so stupid running a big mouth. Now Willow heard them. Now they're both screwed. Willow can call Sitwell to take out Kai or both. If they were so worried, they should have, yeah, fake Nate. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm still one. This is my whole thing. I'm like, Laura, what is Laura's plan? Exactly, Kelly. Just take out Kai. Just use that damn syringe and take his ass out too. Um. uh, oh, you know what? Speaking of annoying characters this week, we gotta talk about fucking Carly. Carly, you need a goddamn vial. Okay, you barged up in Jack's office demanding, "Where's Jason at? Where's Jason at?" And then you have the audacity to sit there and tell him, "Oh, well, you don't care about Jason anyway." Well, if that was the case, then why'd your dumbass actually show up in his office? See, this is okay. You know what? I'm gonna point this out for a hot minute. This is part of my issue with some fans. Okay, you can like a character, but still talk about them too, right? Like, I don't understand why people get so pressed when you talk about their favorite characters. Like, it's fiction. Relax. Nothing in the world. Like, seriously. My goodness. I just, and I never, I can't, like, I can't. Like, I really can't. It was good today. It actually was good today. So, uh, this is one of the reasons why I have always hated Carly. Johnson says, but on the other hand, what if Nathan faked his death that day and it was Cassius that died and Nathan is pretending to be his twin brother on an undercover mission to take Sitwell down from the inside? Okay. So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Carly fucking annoyed. Carly annoyed me. You know, I'm like, girl, take a goddamn bite. Like you doing too damn much, right? I also didn't and again, I'm done with Carlos right now. Um, and then we got to talk about Christina and her pointless ass scene with Tracy. Autumn says Albert Taylor and Deacon think they're slick but dumb, and dumber don't realize Sheila is already putting the pieces together. Um, yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not advocate for violence like that, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Listen, y'all are going to get exactly what y'all deserve. Both Taylor and Deacon are going to get what they deserve. I just, like I said, I didn't. She was just annoying. I was like, girl, all reality, Jack don't have to do a damn thing for you. You walk in, you start making demands like he owe you something. He don't have to do shit for you. I should tell you the truth, I would really feel better if he just dumped her ass. Latasha says Haley needs to leave Tomas alone before Kat and Naomi get her and expose her. I'm not gonna lie, Bill's another person that's just been acting like a damn bitch lately. Like he's just been annoying the shit out of me. And you know what? Listen, if Tomas, okay, and if Tomas decides to leave and go to another firm, then yeah. Sean says I told you. Oh, okay. Johnson says, how do you think Ulbrich will feel about Cassius after he is his son as well? I mean, she's probably going to be feeling a lot of things. She's going to be feeling hurt that she thought that her son was back, and she's going to have to grieve her son over again. She's going to be shocked that she has another son. She's also going to be mad at him as well. Also, don't understand how did she not know that she had another son? I'm going to have to get a really good backstory about how she didn't know that she has another son. I didn't understand that. Her whole purpose of that episode was to sit there and tell Tracy, you need to rally and support Michael. You need to rally and support Michael. You're the head of this family. You need to do that. I'm just like, wait, are you serious? Did they really just call this chick in there just for that? Just for that reason? That's true. That's true, Autumn. Ryan says, do you think that Jacinda should take Jack up on his offer? I mean, part of me wants to sit there and say no, because in our reality, she should sit there and stand on business. Yes, she has a past as an escort, but you know what? In our reality, that should be nothing that she should be ashamed of or feel insecure about. And if Michael wants to sit there and leave her for that, then bye bye. You knew exactly what you were dealing with in the beginning, and if you want to sit there and decide to leave her, then so be it. So no, I don't. Oh, absolutely, Autumn. She going listen. If she's gonna be Mr. Steal Your Girl, I am so here for that. Okay. Johnson says now GH does want to bring Sasha back and Lincoln. I mean, before you got here, Jonathan, I was basically sitting there saying how I didn't really care if Sasha actually comes back or not. Like, I really don't, because her last stint on the show, I didn't really like her. I didn't like her. I didn't like her storyline. Yeah, Ryan, I know what you're referring to. That's cool. Yeah, I get what you're saying, and um, that's your opinion, and I respect that. I don't know why you actually said I'm not going to be mad. Like, who was saying that you had to be mad? I didn't really understand that part, but like, I was saying how I felt about that scene. So I didn't really understand the beginning of the sentence, but okay, I respect your opinion. I guess. Like I said, I'm not really. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool if she comes back. I'm not gonna be all hating or whatever. I'm not like super championing either. You know what? Yes, Vanessa every day, almost every episode proves to me how much of an idiot that she is. Right? And yeah, she did thought it was a good idea to trap Deanna to sit there and get her to talk to her. Right? And right off rip, she got super defensive. It practically blew up in her face. So what does she also try to do? Well, let's sit there and force a double date. Even though Joey has been opposed to this, Nicole has been opposed to this. But because she wants Joey to fit into high society, she decides she decides to do it. 1 second, Jonathan. She decides to do it, right? Joey starts giving attitude. Joey starts giving attitude right off rip about their practice, Carlton's practice, being a hypocrite. So they go back and forth. And she gets all upset. And I'm just like, girl, you the one that actually sat there and proposed this whole meeting. So however this goes is going to be on you. Johnson says, who do you think Sophia Mason will play on Days? I have no idea. And to tell you the truth, there's a reason why I don't know. I haven't I'm not super stoked about it. I'm gonna be honest, Jonathan. I'm not super stoked about what character she's gonna be on it because I already have reservations about her being on the show. Right? Like you think about how many people that has been on the show, and their storylines have just been shit. Now you had Everett's storyline that was shit. You had Talia's storyline that was shit. You had Julie's storyline that was shit. You had Sloan that started off really great, and then guess what wound up happening? Her storyline went to shit, right? Yeah, somebody else said the same thing too. I just, the thing is, Jonathan, is that Days doesn't have a good track record with people that they have actually. Um, yeah, I'm gonna close the window when it gets to 10 o'clock. Um, I feel bad for the neighbors, honestly. And she will be the same as GH new soap, same actress. Well, I feel like Days have a really bad reputation as far as bringing characters on there and then just being like, well, Ryan says, I agree that if Jacinda feels like she needs to prove something to Michael by getting that evidence that he's not worth it. However, I would love if Jacinda helps him out by getting the evidence. I just want Jacinda to do it for the right reasons. Yeah. Um. Yeah, that was the big shocker towards the end. That was the big shocker towards the end. Like I said, I don't they don't have a good track record. So like that's my issue. You know. All right. think we kind of. Oh, you know what? Be right back. Now you might still hear it, but I think the sound is gonna be a lot more muffled. I still like this picture, and I still like this picture. But anyway, um, it's just like I said. It's so like I said. I feel bad for I feel bad for Sheila. I feel bad for Sheila because I'm like nobody deserves to sit there and be lied to. You know, ultimately nobody deserves to be lied to. So you know, and you know, Steffi, as annoying as Steffi has been, like the way that she talks to her mother, she talks down to her mother. She's talking to her mother as though she is the parent. But the way that Taylor has been acting, I'm kind of like, normally I don't like this level of disrespect, but I'm like, somebody has to sit there and talk sense into you because, yeah, like Ryan says, Sheila is a psychopath who came in her home and almost saw Taylor with her husband. You are literally inviting trouble and you're talking about, I love him. I can't stop being with him. I can't stop thinking about him. I was like, really? Really? Like, because, and my whole thing was like, Sheila shot Steffi in a fucking alley. And you're still talking about, oh, but I'm just going to sit there and keep, like, what are we doing at this point? So I just, I can't. I really can't. Latasha says instead of Jacinda getting the evidence, I hope Charlotte gets her hands on the evidence and expose them all. That's right, Latasha. Down with all of them. Ed says, I'm glad Tomas was looking for another job, and I wonder what Joey's plan was in telling Harry that Bill is looking into Lynette. Johnson says, what do you think Sheila will do? How do you think this will end? Um, I don't know. I mean, yeah, the classic thing is like, I don't usually do theories, but like, and does Willow want to silence Trina and Kai? Well, let me answer this question. Obviously, people are going to sit there and think that Sheila is going to try to kill Taylor and try to kill Deacon, right? So, will she succeed? No, but I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, part of me is like, in my head, Jonathan, because I don't usually think about the shows after I'm done watching them unless I'm doing my notes. But like, I think in the beginning she's going to sit there and call Deacon and Taylor out for Phil, right? Like she's really going to sit there and come at them like, "Yo, Deacon, you lied to me, and Taylor, you betrayed me." And I feel like everything. Let's get Tracy Steves. I feel like everything that Sheila is going to sit there and rip into both Taylor and Deacon, she's going to be 100% correct. She's going to be 100% correct. Um, Now the whole if she gonna sit there and start like really going, um, hmm, I haven't watched that movie in so long, so like, it's just so hard. And what's good 179? Monique says Kai and Trina need to learn to keep their mouth shut, and Nina's going off on Jacinda for the mess she got herself into with Jack. And I 100% agree with everything that you just said too. And what's good, Mikal? Ed says, what do you think about Owen, Jeremy, and Alice confrontation? Well, I mean, I didn't really think much about Jeremy confronting Owens, except for maybe he still has a little bit of that darkness in him. But more to the point, I'm glad that he stuck up to Alex. He stood up to Alex. But I do also understand where Alex is coming from. Because this isn't like before where he was just being this jealous prick or whatever and da 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 da. All he basically said was, you know, listen, she's my wife. I got it from here. I don't need you sitting there interfering or whatever. Um, I don't need you sitting there interfering, and it's making me uncomfortable. And I did feel like at that point, Jeremy should have been like, you know what? Listen, you're right. I'm not gonna really, I'm gonna let you take the wheel from here. Instead of him just practically being like, hey, listen, I'm not going nowhere if Stephanie tells me not to. It was like, okay. He was really gonna sit there and get that defensive, but Ryan says, what streaming service do you have? Paramount Plus, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, and Peacock. I have everything except for Netflix right now. I switched between Netflix and Amazon. So everything that you said that you have, I have except for Netflix. I mean, I don't hate it. 179. It just takes a bit of practice to get used to saying. Like, why does he have to sit there and have such a overly complicated name? No, I don't have HBO Max. No, I don't have HBO Max. I think the only time Wino was actually pretty decent, Mika. Wino was actually pretty decent. I would definitely sit there and say it wasn't super great, but it was decent though. I only get HBO Max when I want, like, the only time I'm actually going to get HBO Max is when I want to sit there and finish certain series, right? So, for Amazon Prime, I'm watching Invincible and I want to watch The Boys. So when I'm done with Invincible and The Boys, I'll switch back to Netflix. But I only, like I said, I only get HBO Max when I want to finish certain series, and then I kind of just go back from that. Because like when I want to watch HBO Max, I want to watch without commercials. I don't want to watch it with commercials. Like I don't watch without commercials. I don't know what they charge you out there, but here it's $19. That's no commercial, none of that whatsoever. Oh, you got stars? Okay. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Tracy. I definitely will. Mikhail said, "What soap has been the best for the past couple of weeks beyond the gates?" No. I mean, for me personally, no, Mikhail. Me, it'll be GH. Me, it's been GH. Um, I didn't watch Game of Thrones. GH fan. I'm not a fan of like the medieval stuff. Yeah, but like I said, the shows that I'm watching right now are like outside of soap operas. is Paradise, Invincible, and Daredevil. But yeah, no, there you go. It's been GH. Wino's actually been good. Days has been okay. Certain parts have also annoyed me. I don't like the fact that days have been going on for like Days hasn't been the best. Wino has actually been better than Days, and so it has B&B, which is like really crazy to me. Um, but you know, Beyond the Gates was actually good today. So, Kristen, is that a story that you're looking forward to with with Robert's tribute? Johnson says on Beyond the Gate, Haley really pissed me off Monday and yesterday. Haley has been just pissing me off every time that she's been on screen. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like she is just so fucking annoying, right? Okay. Um, rumor has it is that Sofia will be a Chloe recast. Oh man, I hope that's not the case. Tyrese Clark, the one and only. I'm liking it so far, Tracy. I only saw the first episode, but the first episode I really liked. I really been liking it. So I'm looking forward to watching the rest of it. But I'm just I'm mad at myself, Tracy, because I was off last week and I just didn't have a chance to really watch it. It's really interesting. And at first, I thought that Kristen was really going to just go super fucking hard on. I really thought that she was going to go super hard on Sofia. But the fact that she's going to use Sofia to do something, I'm kind of here for it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, because Bill is another person who's just been pissing me the fuck off. Like him sitting there listening to his ditzy fucktarded wife has just like really. Mm. Monique says Adam dove right back into Spider personnel really fast. Now the question is, when he comes back to General City, will he be Spider or Adam? Question. Um, honestly, tell you the truth, Ed, and I'm gonna get to that in 1 second. Let me just answer Danny's question. Let me get to that in 1 second because I got some shit to say about that. Danny says, I'm the same. I've been enjoying General Hospital, and my second would be Young and Restless, and I'm starting to like Days of Our Lives. I've been putting more Days videos. Okay. Um, I'm not liking. I had an issue with Summer's letter, right? Because here's the thing: she sits there and she talks about how Phyllis is attacking the Newmans, right? But how many times did Victor sit there and talk down and was really nasty to her own mother? How many times did Victor sit there and take over a company? How many times did Nikki sit there and talk down to Phyllis like she didn't belong in that family, right? But now out of nowhere, she's like, I'm done with you, this, that, and the third. I was like, you are one ungrateful ass girl, you know? And Daniel's another person who just comes across as a fucking bum and a fucking loser, right? I'm so glad that Phyllis is like, you know what, the hell with both of them. The hell with both of them in all reality, you know? Even Even fucking Sharon was sitting there sticking out for Victor, talking about, well, he built that company for nothing because he wanted to protect himself and the childhood trauma and stuff like that that he had to sit there and face. I was like, Sharon, do you not remember how many times that Victor probably treated you like shit? You know? But you want to sit there and start talking about poor Victor and his pain? I don't, even the way that Daniel was sitting there acting. Daniel, you don't do anything. You don't have a job, right? Like he is, he is talking to his dad about doing a tour or whatever, like making some music or whatever, making some money and stuff like that. This guy is talking about, I just want to be, he practically said that I want to be a bum just sitting there just playing music in a cafe. I was like, bro, how are you supporting your daughter? Like CBS, as much as I love the CBS soap sometimes, they really do shit that you're just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Um, Ryan says, I don't know what you're talking about, but I know enough about Phyllis to know she's not an innocent victim. She's not. She's not an innocent victim, right? But my whole thing is like Victor has been sitting there shitting on people, taking over companies and everything like that for years. But now I'm supposed to sit there and do the whole poor Victor Newman, poor, like, no. Oh, and Curtis, you said something before in your stream. You talked about how Victoria was a hypocrite, but I couldn't remember the exact words you used. But you have a good memory. So if you could message me the words that you used, because you really brought up a good point in your stream yesterday. Sharon burned down the Newman Ranch over how she was treated. Exactly. But now you want to sit there and start talking about how you're a bad person because you stole the company and you did something wrong. Um, uh, 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 Seriously? Do you not know who fucking Victor Newman is? I mean, that's my whole thing, Gage, man. I'm not a fan of Phyllis. I'm not. But I'm also not a fan of Victor and how he treats people. I'm not a fan of Nikki and how she treats people. But we're supposed to sit there and do the whole, oh my God, I can't, but get the fuck out of here. Danny says, I love how Nate Divine going in on Lily. She was so damn stupid working with Victor again. Now she got screwed over again. I'm glad that Kane got on her ass. Kane was like, I'm done with you. He was like, yo, I'm done with you. You want me out your life? Fine. That's true. I don't. GH fan, I'm actually impressed. You know that, okay? Yes, I'll sit there and see you Friday, Sean. Okay, there we go. There we go. I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm gonna take a minute. Give me a minute, chat. Hold on. No, listen, that's I'm impressed. I'm impressed, GH fan. Curry says Victoria had the nerve to say that Jack would never interfere with Nikki and Victor, yet Victor does it all the time. Does it. She all for it. She can go sit her. uh, I just like, I don't know. I don't remember if you said exactly that, but you said something like that, though. And then he says, I don't think Kane was good, Big Nate. You're all right. I don't think Kane is over Lily. He's a crybaby. I'm surprised if he's working on a revenge plot and if he actually goes through with it. I hope he does. I hope he's over Lily. I mean, listen, the CBS soaps, well, the soaps in general most of the times don't do anything good. And what's good, DC? Um, bro, I'm really surprised that you didn't hear anything about the source. Oh, also, DC, did you get my video I sent you? It says Sharon is a hypocrite because when she was married to Victor, and everyone thought he was dead, she had no problem enjoying the power and taking his company before he took it back. Oh. But yeah, DC, did you get a chance to watch it? I was like, yo, listen, Mon, I think I was just in so much shock on how stupid that whole scene was. And yes, I did. I will try to watch it tonight. I was listening because if you said no, you're gonna miss. Well, yeah, but I have, you know, I have plans for other content. I have plans for other content. So like don't get me wrong, I'm gonna miss Swords, but at the same time, like I am I get to do other content. And it's stuff that I've been wanting to do for a while. So, you know. And I kind of miss doing too. So that's what I look forward to. Let's go, CK. Curry says Adam Newman is a cheater. What did you think of him kissing Riza? Hey, listen, you got to sit there and go on the cover, bro. That ain't. I listen. I don't feel like that's cheating. I mean, he's going on the cover, so you gotta get down and dirty for the cause. Gotta get down and dirty for the cause. So you know, ain't right, but it's for a good cause. We gotta sit there and find Matt Clark. I'm sorry, Todd Manning. I'm sorry, Franco. I'm sorry, Austin. You get the joke, right? Um, as says Albert, so glad Kyle gave it to Claire when it comes to Victor. I'm not gonna lie, I get so annoyed. Here's my whole thing, and I'm gonna answer questions in a second. Here's my whole thing with Claire. She is defending, but it's not gonna sell the story though, Kyrie. Listen. When you gotta commit, you gotta really commit. Thank you, thank you. Yes, Ariane, you gotta sit there and take one for the team. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Jonathan. See, um, here's my whole thing about Claire. Right, so Claire is defending. Claire has been defending Victor for a hot minute. The thing that's really stupid is that when she sits there and says things like, I can't see my grandfather doing that. I can't believe my grandfather would sit there and kidnap someone. Claire, before you came to town, you studied Victor. This is one of the things that Jordan taught you was how to study your targets. So you should know all about what Victor did to Jack as far as switching him out with a fake or whatever. You know the lengths that Victor has went through because you fucking studied him. But now you're gonna sit there and act like, oh, I can't believe he did this. I can't believe he did that. I can't believe, like, what are you talking about? Like that's the thing that really annoys me. Like they made a point of her sitting there saying that she studied the Newmans. It's here's the thing, JH fan, and I on some level I understand that, but like it's just called bad writing. CBS has a habit of just having bad fucking written stories. Okay, I don't think I hear the dog, so I'm going to open up my window again. Kyrie, because you're here, I'm not gonna do what I would normally do to be petty. Despite the fact that Kyrie See, exactly. Even though Kyrie's yesterday, you know, was having me be messy because of him. So I blame Kyrie for that. I think I should go get another clothing. GH, well, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of surprised. Like GH is my favorite soap opera, and yet I don't really have like a good one for GH, which is really weird. Thank you, Carius. Yes, hit that like button. Listen, let me just, Carius, you was being a bad influence on me yesterday. Okay, that's what that comes down to. You were being a bad influence on me yesterday. Okay, I was only being messy in that stream because of him, even though he was giving out some good advice. Monique says, "How long before Nikki caves into Victor and goes back to him?" Remember when she caved and she went back for Christmas? Yeah, they've been killing it. I'm glad Nate and Devon went off on Lily for her fake kidnapping. You know they did, but I'm gonna be honest. Like they didn't go off on her, and like the thing that annoyed me, right? Devon and Lily had no problem with fooling Kane, right? With using her kids to fool Kane. I did actually have a lot of pictures of them. But I was like, you know what, Kyrus, I'm not gonna be petty. I'm not gonna do that. Um I don't know. You know, that's another thing. I have no idea what the fuck they're doing with Mariah, Tess, and Daniel. You know, at one point they seem like they're going to end that whole thing and be like, okay, so Tess is going to go back with Mariah and fight for her, and you know, he was just going to back off and just kind of do his own thing, right? Because Phyllis was right. Phyllis was right about Daniel being like, hey, listen, you need to sit there and back away because you don't want to get hurt. But Daniel, being the idiot that he is, decided, F you, Phyllis, I know what I'm doing. Now Mariah goes for treatment. So now Lily and I mean now Tess and Daniel are hanging out together. I'm like, what are we doing at this point? No, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did, Carius. I found no fault in your logic. Shakira, I heard Sofia playing new Abby on days. Yeah. Like I said, Vanessa's an idiot. I feel like Shanice is just like making problems at this point. Like Tad was like, hey, you know, that's one of the things that I love about you. Shanice is like, you love me? That's not what he said. He said that's one of the things I love about you. And now she's all like, and granted, like they had a problem and they fixed it in the same episode, which is fine, but it's like you're just making shit up at this point. And I'm glad she did sit there and say, like, you know, this is um, you know, because of my trauma and me not trusting men because of my issues. I'm like, good. Don't trauma dump on a new man about your old man. Get fucking therapy or something. Yeah, yeah, Jonathan. You know, again, okay. So I'm glad you brought that up because yesterday or the day before it was like 47 minutes long, and all the scene was Sophia Smith telling her mom, "I'm gonna leave the house. I'm gonna go away," and then she's like, "Yeah, I don't really have anywhere to go." I was like, "This has I can't." You know, she's also playing something else though too. She's also playing something else though too. Shakira. See, on days she assaulted someone, and that was Eric. And now on Young and Restless, she assaulted Jack. Yeah, me too, DC. I mean, I'm not a fan of Deanna for my own personal reasons, but yeah. Monique says Tomas starting to grow on me a little when he checked Haley. Yeah, and to her bitch ass husband named Bill Hamilton started like, oh, you call my wife a liar? I'm like, bro, honestly tell you the truth, he should have just um you should have just quit right then and there. Like, you know what? Listen, I said what I said. If you don't like it, I can be out the door. But he's smart because he tried to look for another job before he practically told Bill to kick fucking rocks without socks. Yeah, and it was yeah, exactly. It was unacceptable. Wait, hold on. Let me read this one first. Um Andre needs a storyline because sleeping with Danny every other episode is getting old. I feel like whenever they do their own thing, I just like I listen because content or whatever, but I don't care. I don't care about Andre and Danny when they do their own thing. I guess it's supposed to be cute or whatever, but like the shit just like goes over my fucking head. I'm just like I don't care. And I totally forgot about Philip and Gabby being on the episode. I totally forgot about those two being on the episode. I just sat there and was just thinking like for 7 minutes, I felt like it was 7 minutes that and first of all, I love how she sits there and says that she's a grown woman, she can make her own decisions. Yes, she snipped there holding the fucking teddy bear. Like part of me just had to sit there and laugh about that. Like, wait, hold on. You want to sit there and try to act like you miss independent, you miss grown folks and everything like that. I'm grown. I can do whatever I want. I'm an adult woman. Girl, you're holding a teddy bear. Nothing about that screams adulthood at all. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, me too, Jonathan. Nick, drug, happy, getting out of control. Matt, oh, getting out of control. Matt will use that to his advantage. Mighty and self-righteous. Yeah, I love Nick. I'm just saying, Ed and Jay's fan. I'm just like, you can't sit there and start boasting about that shit. Like, come on, bro. You look dumb as fuck. Like, not to mention that the actress is also pretty bad as well. So like, everything just falls flat about that Jay's fan. Like, I'm telling, if you watch the scene, you will sit there and see just how dumb it looks. Yeah. I think you're missing the LOL part about that, but mm. But Shakira, I miss the '90s writing. I miss the '90s GH. I miss the year 2000 GH. I'll say that much. Okay. I wasn't really a fan of the actor in general, but you know I respect your opinion. Yeah, exactly, GH fan. That's why I was just like, just stop, 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 stop. It just I can't. And I think and that's the thing though, GH man. It's like it's when they do things like that, it's like it's very hard for y'all to sit there and say y'all can compete with GH when you start doing stupid shit like that. Carlton confronting in the end up with Nicole because he knows Carlton confront Confident and up with Nicole because he knows her so well, but he better not get comfortable. I'm not gonna lie, I can't stand that whole fucking I can't stand that whole fucking like um love triangle shit. Like I can't stand that shit. Like I really can't. And I feel like they're both a bunch of fucking saps, and suckers and pathetic men in all reality. And that's the sad thing. Like both Carlton and Kyle are pathetic. Because listen, I'm straight, but these are good-looking men that can easily get their own Nicoles. So why are you two idiots that they're fighting over one Nicole when you can literally sit there and get another woman that looks just as good as Nicole? I'm also kind of sick and tired of Shanice constantly propping up Nicole. Oh, she's dropped that gorgeous. She's this. She's that. Like Shanice, do you want to date her? Do you want to sit there and put your hat in the ring for being with Nicole? I can't. I just can't. Um, and again, that whole like okay, and this is something else that annoyed me about the fucking judge for the Days fans, right? So Bell told Marlena that the judge wouldn't let me get a word in when the whole like custody case started with the whole like Johnny and stuff like that and Melinda. Like she wouldn't let her get a word in. So let me get this straight. And this is for the fucking judge. You got upset with her for how she handled her last case. And you decide to take your prejudice out on your feelings towards her last case on the new case when she was representing John. Okay, all right, yeah. You have a good night. I didn't know if you were streaming or not, but okay. Oh, okay, cool. In 5 minutes. Well, 6 minutes. I was just wondering that too. I haven't actually sat there and went on his page yet. Like that was just something else that fucking annoyed me though about um about that fucking judge. Honestly, tell you, I'm not surprised. I hope that he gets I hope he gets EJ to sit there and represent him because EJ came through in the last case when the judge was being a piece of shit. EJ came through in the last case, so like hopefully he'll come through again. But again, this whole thing is just it was 7 fucking pages. I'm like, you didn't have one person sit there and read through that whole thing, even in the damn title. What's the title of those two books? Ed, what's the title of those two books? One is called A Stormy Night or some shit, right? I think it was called A Stormy Night, but like the titles are similar, and that should have been a red flag for anybody. You're saying at the time you didn't bother to sit there and read that shit. Like what? I know that Johnny's inexperienced, and I get that, but part of me is kind of just like it should be somewhat common sense. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Ed. Danny says one stormy night and one stormy afternoon. Really? One stormy. Even Ari no, yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna lie, Ed. I did feel bad for what's his name when he couldn't read it. Johnny didn't read his cousin's book. I see. One rainy afternoon, like what the Liam? Thank you, Danny. Yeah, when Liam couldn't sit there and read the book, because Ari was like, listen, why don't you read this passage and tell me if it's similar? And I knew right off rip, I was like, ah, shit. I was like, ah, shit. Um, but yeah, I'm like, whatever. It's Johnson says, do you think Leah will choose to be with Dimitri or try to get back with Javi when he returns? You know, I'm glad you asked that question, Jonathan. Because normally I don't do the whole shipping thing. I'm not into the whole romance thing, but I like Dimitri more because Dimitri is more interesting than Javi. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. It's true, Dominics. Um, I just find Dimitri a much more interesting and compelling character than Javi. Like I have no issues with Javi, but like I'm not like, oh my god, Javi's back. Also, I thought Javi was gonna be played by a different actor. Maybe he still will, but like with days and the way that they shoot, I thought that Javi was gonna be played by a different actor. Good. So he's gonna choose Mr. Boring. Javi can go to hell, and Leo should go back to Dimitri because Javi didn't fight for them. Oh, he's still being recast. Okay. All right. But what's really funny? Okay, so Ed, I don't know how much this is gonna make sense. Right? This kind of ties back into the whole. So Javi and I was of the same opinion of you, right? Javi was like, listen, you need to sit there and take some time and decide on who you want to be with it, right? Decide on who you want to be with because I don't want to have my heart broken, right? Then you think about the Maxi, Lulu, and Maxi, Lulu, and Nathan scene, right? Maxi came back. Maxi, both of them, both Nathan and Spinelli was like, okay, we're gonna give you some time. We're gonna sit there and see who you're gonna pick. Maxi didn't do that though. Maxi, after like what 4 days of being up, she was like, yeah, I'm gonna choose you. Spinelli, I'm gonna sit there and choose you. With Dimitri and Leo, you do get Dio. Um, but like I said, it's one of those things where it kind of reminds me of that. Like, Javi was like, you need to sit there and take some time and see who you're gonna be with her. Because, he didn't want to sit there and get up and whatever. I don't know. I felt like that made more sense before when it was happening, and now I'm kind of just like I had a theory about how those two are supposed to connect, and now I'm sitting there saying it out loud and like, those two don't really fucking connect like I thought it does. But um, I just like I said, I find Dimitri to be a much more interesting character. Personally, I do. I find him to be a much more interesting character. But he'll probably want to picking. That's my whole thing. Like, I don't usually do the whole like, I want this person to be with this person. or whatever. But I picked the wrong person. Yeah, Demetrius is for me personally, Demetrius is a more interesting character. I have nothing against Javi. It's like Marcos, right? So like Marcos has been killed off, and there's a lot of people like, oh my god, I can't believe he's gone. And I'm just like, what's so compelling about him that you like? Have a good night, Ryan. Thank you for joining, and look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you for coming through. Okay, as this difference with Javi, Leo, and Dimitri, Leo kept telling Javi he picked him, and he did that several times before. And when Dimitri came back after their wedding, but Javi told Leo to take some time and left. Yeah, if here's the thing for my GH fans. Um, did you like Javi, and if so, why? Did you like Javi, and if so, why? Very curious to your answers. Very, very curious. Also, what I didn't sit there and broadcast, Dolomedic's actually. Oh, he's a character on Days of Our Lives. Carrie. Why would you want them to bring back Dario, Jonathan? Which, by the way, is Jonathan actually taught me the name Dario. I kept kept pronouncing that shit wrong. Dimitri and Leo scenes always makes me smile. It doesn't matter what they're doing. I see. No one has actually. Yeah, he's a character on Days of Our Lives. I don't see people really being like, oof, okay. Well, I'm happy that he's on. Dario is on Beyond the Gates. And who's his character on Beyond the Gates? He was an interesting character. He was a little more rebellious out of the. Oh, okay. Well, okay. All right. Well, Jonathan, I'm sold on that. That's really you have to sit there and say, I was like, okay, I'm sold. Um, so you said Dario is a. Oh, he's Grayson. Oh, oh, okay. You know, sometimes with Beyond the Gates, I have to sit there and try to. What's my music at? I have to sit there and try to take. Oh well, you know what, Danny Bear, that's you had me so you had me so when you sat there and said bad boy. Oh, okay, Jonathan. Okay, all right. Oh, I'm sold on that. I endorse it. Fuck me. What else was I gonna sit there and say? So wait, no one actually cared about Marcos? I'm not drunk. I know I asked the chat. Does anybody miss Marcos? I remember when he was Tony on God and like, yeah, I'm into that. But yeah, I guess nobody. So I guess we just have a consensus. Since no one said anything, I'm assuming that no one really cared about Marcos, and no one's gonna miss Marcos. Am I correct with that? No, Ed, Marcos. So do you miss Marcos, Ed? And if so, why? Marcos. Marco? Okay, Marco? Anybody Marco? Do you miss Marco? On General Hospital? Very, very, very curious. And it says exactly. There's it's not the same. Like so. Okay, so you were just starting like I was wondering. I was like, Harry. I was like, maybe I just said his name wrong. I'm like, I'm not drinking tonight, so I know. Like I asked the question. Johnson says the actor's fine, but didn't really care for the Marco character. Some people mentioned that Marco actor could be the new Ravi. If he can get it, allegedly, if the actor can get along with his castmates on days, then he may have a good shot. Um, Heard he really couldn't get along with his former castmates. Practically was like, yeah, bro, you gotta go. You got to go. So I guess we'll see. As says, Marcos wasn't a bad character, but I wish more was done before he got killed off. He's on the warpath. Sitwell's on the warpath. Laura, you need to get your shit together. Yeah. You need to really get your shit together because um, they dropped the rod on GH. I mean, Ariana, they should have probably dropped the rod on a lot of characters. Um, I am, and I didn't say this in my review, but I'm gonna start saying this shit more. I don't care about a lot of these legacy characters. If you ain't doing shit for the show now, your ass needs to go. Felicia, I don't really care about your feelings, about how you want to speak your feelings about the situation, because it's none of your damn business. Actually made peace with it. That's all that matters. Why do I have to sit there and listen to you talk about anything? I want my feelings to be known. Girl, you haven't been relevant since the 90s. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you still here? Yeah, Ed, I'm just sitting there thinking, what has Laura done for herself? See, somebody is too busy sitting there, being all flirty and kissy and practically eating women's mouth, eating women's faces, and I'm just like, I'm just like, you need to sit there and do something to get yourself out of the situation. Laura Smith is depending on Sonny. Y'all probably be depending on Sitwell dying of old age at this point. Johnson says next week is probably when we first see Connor make his debut as Chad. Oh, that's gonna be so weird. Tracy says Felicia's there for the old heads. I do like her. What do you like about it, Tracy? I don't think she does. Somebody asked that question earlier. I felt like I don't think she does. Natasha says I wish Marcos would stop blaming Sonny for Natalia's death, and yeah, me too. Me too. I second that. Oh, 21. Olivia can go to from GH. Yeah, she is there for the older generation of family face. A family face, like a familiar face. Okay. I, I respect that, Tracy. They really, CK said they really didn't flesh out Marco's character for me, so I don't really care if he goes. Ever since they brought back the character of Lucas. The writers have dumbed him down. And what is Lucas going to do when he gets back to Spoon Island? What does he plan on doing to sit well? Yeah, that shit is starting to get old. That shit is getting old. But I'm like, Lord, you need to sit there and stop dragging your feet because regardless if you like boils or not, he's sitting there saying you need to sit there and make a public announcement denouncing Jason. Like condemning Jason for his actions. Um, Laura's all like, don't act like you're concerned for me. Girl, you don't seem like you're really concerned for yourself. Sonny's sitting there romancing Justine. What the hell are you doing? Even with that being said, even with the bad marks that I'm sitting there saying about GH has still been like killing it for me. So I'm personally here for it. I'm personally here for it. All right. Now I do actually have to wake up early for work tomorrow, so I'm gonna end the stream here. I'll be back on. Oh shit. Speaking of that, Jonathan. So this week, this Sunday, I'm actually not going to be doing a stream. This is going to be Easter Sunday, so I'm going to be spending time with family on Sunday. But the next Sunday, we will do that stream that you recommended. And it'll give me more time to sit there and finish putting up the clips. So for members, it's going to be a Saturday stream only, and then Sunday we'll be back. Yeah, Cherry. Unfortunately, I gotta get back to the grind, and early mornings are a bitch, and that's not a good day. Hey, yeah, it's Easter Sunday. That's why I was like, oh shit. I was like, but yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that next Sunday. Though. Yeah, Cherry. I'll be back on Friday. All right, the following. Yeah, exactly. The following Sunday. Yeah, I'll be back on Friday. So we'll definitely have some fun. So I look forward to seeing you, Cherry. Have a night, Ed. Have a night, Jonathan. Have a night, Danny Bear. Definitely check out Danny Bear's channel. Also support Dolomedics. I put the pin comment up there, so definitely support him on the soap opera. Have a night, Danny Bear. Have a night, Ariana. Thank you for joining. It was really great to see you. It's always a pleasure seeing you. I know how busy you are, how important your work is. So every time you come through, I seriously appreciate it. Thank you, Dolomedics. Thank you. Thank you, CK. Thank you. Yes, you have a good one as well. Hopefully, I'll see you on Friday. I'll be streaming on Friday. Jonathan says, join us next time for another edition of Soap Chat with Albert Bostic. Thank you. Have a nice Shakira if you're still in here. Jonathan, I'm still waiting. It was like, I was like, Jonathan knows I'm waiting for. I was like, bro, there we go. Thank you, Jonathan. Johnson says, good night, everyone. Hit the like button. Thank you, Jonathan. And also thank you for coming through tonight. Always a pleasure to sit there, hang out with you, and talk to you, and as well as everybody else. So thank you. Friday. All right. See you on Friday. Laters.